And there was this one time you were telling me about this one phone call that you made to your parents after you received a scholarship when you were in Singapore. I was wondering if you would like to share that story, because I personally learned a lot from that moment in your life that I imagined.
Right. So the story is, it's not a scholarship. I just got accepted in a government school, which is like a public school in Singapore. So my biggest goal when I went to Singapore to study is to be able to enroll in a government public school, because I have better education and also cheaper school fees, for my parents. So when I got into the school that I got into, I didn't know that it was the top 10 high school in Singapore, which is a band A. There's only 10 high schools in Singapore that belongs in that tier. I didn't know that until I graduated. But that was not the point. The point was I got in, I called my parents, and I think I remember very vividly, I told you I was in a room with 4 beds, so it was a dorm. And I was like jumping from bed to bed, calling them and saying that I got in. And then what I got from the other side was just like, oh, good, congratulations. And I interpreted their tone and their attitudes as indifference. And I remember I just, ended the conversation and sat there alone in the room, and I was start crying. And it was raining outside, and I was alone, and I felt really lonely at that point, because I felt like I tried so hard to be validated by my parents, or to be recognized by my parents. And then they didn't really respond with the same kind of enthusiasm, And whenever I look back at that story, I felt pitiful for both me and my parents. Because one, I felt pitiful about me back then, was I didn't know enough. And I also didn't have anybody to tell me that I didn't know enough. And secondly, I felt sorry for my parents, because within the realm of understanding and within the best of their capability, they did the best they could, or they did the best that they think they could for me. But I didn't understand that back then. But nonetheless, I think the story still stuck to me now, because it's still the same events, same things that happen, but I look at it with more compassion now. And I was able to both love myself and my parents.